The family that prays together stays together. Hello, my name is Robert Weltner, CSC, and I am a seminarian with the Congregation of Holy Cross, entering my third year of temporary religious vows. Today we celebrate the 23rd Sunday in Ordinary Time. Our first reading comes from the book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 35, verses 4 through 7a. Our second reading comes from the letter of St. James, chapter 2, verses 1 through 5. And our gospel comes from the Gospel according to Mark, chapter 7, verses 31 through 37. The theme of our reflection is the Lord's love for the poor and his transformative offer of healing and redemption. The Lord hears the cry of the poor. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted. This glorious truth is proclaimed repeatedly throughout sacred scripture. And we see such merciful love on full display in today's readings. In the first reading, the prophet Isaiah encourages the fearful to have courage and be strong, because the Lord is coming to save them. When the Lord comes, there will be a reversal of fortunes. The blind will see, the deaf will hear, the lame will leap like a stag, and the mute will sing. In other words, when the Lord comes, the poor and the lame will be made rich and whole. In the second reading, St. James echoes this promise. In reminding us to treat both rich and poor with equal dignity, St. James says, "Did not God choose those who are poor in the world to be rich in faith and heirs of the kingdom that he promised to those who love him?" In other words, our poverty must not be cause for despair. Rather, the Lord looks upon us in our poverty and loves us all the more deeply in the midst of it. The Lord wishes to make us whole and reward us for our fidelity to him as we bear our crosses. In the gospel, we see these promises to the poor fulfilled in a particular bodily way. Christ opens the ears of a deaf man and removes his speech impediment. This physical healing is a tangible sign of the even greater spiritual healing that he wishes to offer all of us. All of us are poor and broken in one way or another. Some of us are materially poor, suffering from the insecurity of not knowing where our next meal will come from. Some of us are physically impaired, unable to engage in common everyday activities due to our physical and mental disabilities. Some of us are socially poor, isolated or outcast from our communities and our families. And all of us suffer from spiritual and emotional poverty at times, plagued by doubt and loneliness. However, here is the good news in today's readings. God hears us, he sees us, and he loves us most dearly in the midst of our poverty. And he wishes to heal and transform all of us through that poverty. It is often in our poverty and in our need that we seek the Lord's help. And when we do so in sincere faith, the Lord rejoices and offers us healing. This does not mean that we will always receive miraculous physical healings, nor that we will suddenly become very wealthy. But it does mean that the Lord can transform and redeem us through our poverty. And here is the transformation that takes place. When we place our various forms of poverty before the Lord and seek his healing, these ailments become transfigured by Christ and his cross. Our poverty is no longer a lack of something, but rather it becomes the cross through which we are saved. When we share our poverty and our weaknesses with the Lord, they become a participation in the passion and death of Christ. And thus they become a participation in the cross that leads to our resurrection and our salvation. No one desires poverty, yet we all suffer from it in various ways. Let us share these crosses with the Lord, and let us trust that the Lord hears us and desires to save us, with our greatest reward yet to come in his heavenly kingdom. Thank you, and remember, a world at prayer is a world at peace. So keep praying, and may God bless you all.